Good morning. Welcome to the county board meeting. Could we call the meeting to order and have a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is open forum. I have one.
Roll call first.
Okay.
Commissioner Coring,
Here.
Commissioner Lupke,
Here.
Commissioner Barros,
Here.
Commissioner Franzine,
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Okay. First thing is open forum. I only have one forum. Tim Quincer. You'll have 3 minutes. And this is just an open forum. It's not a public hearing, so we won't be responding.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Thank you. I'm here to ask a couple of questions. I'm very concerned with the cooperation with ICE in the county. I have reached out to a county commissioner. I have not heard back from him. I have reached out to the county attorney. I have not heard back from her. I did talk to the sheriff on Friday. My concern is what we're seeing in the news about ICE not following the Constitution, about not feeling they need warrants, about detaining people without legal reasons to do so. We read in the newspaper today that there's a district judge that has called the leader of ICE in the country into his court to explain why he shouldn't be charged with contempt because of multiple refusals to deal with orders to release people. Conversation I had with the sheriff on Friday, he told me that he is not going to go out and arrest people. I read in the newspaper last night that appears not to be true. He said that we do not provide names of those people detained. We know from the news that people are being detained with no legal reason to do so. He also said that we treat our people well in the jail, and we even cooperate with people from a local Mexican restaurant to provide help if we have language issues with people in the jail. And here we hear about this issue in our local restaurant. The newspaper said that 4 people are arrested, but only 2 people had warrants. I think we should take a look at the legality of this. As you may know, the Attorney General has ruled that it's not legal for a sheriff to unilaterally enter into a 287G contract without county board approval. The county board has not done that. You may also be aware that Freeborn County has been sued by the ACLU and people in the county down there for not entering into a contract with board approval. I also believe that we have ample evidence that ICE is detaining people without legal reason to do so. I think any detention in our local jail should occur with the names of those people released so that newspapers and other people can see if they're actually held for a legal reason. So, my 2 things are consider a 287G to the board, have a discussion about what this means, make sure the county attorney provides a legal opinion on the legality of this, the potential for you to be sued, and taxpayers to have to pay for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else? Next is a review and approval of the minutes from the amended minutes from December 16th, 2025.
Madam Chair, if you'd like to take all 3 of the minutes as one motion, that would be fine.
Okay.
Motion to approve. Lupke.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lupke, a second by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none?
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine.
Aye. Motion passes. Review and approve the agenda for today. Are there any changes?
No changes or corrections, Madam Chair.
Okay, can I-
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barrows, second by Commissioner Lubke. Is there any discussion? Hearing none?
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine.
Aye. Motion passes. Consent agenda.
Madam Chair.
Yes?
Madam Chair, could I just, before we have a motion, for Commissioner Barrows, who's on the Airport Commission, maybe just a little small explanation of 5.3 signature resolution for the 2026 capital projects for the airport operations?
Commissioner Coring, this is a normal authority given to the chair of the Airport Commission. We enter into agreements with the FAA, and the chair has to have the ability and the vice chair to sign those agreements. So it expedites or moves the process along. And we do this each year, I believe, if I'm correct. Yes.
That is correct.
All right.
Okay, sounds good. Madam Chair, motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coring, second by Commissioner Barrows. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none?
Commissioner Barrows,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine.
Aye. Motion passes. Administrative Services.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I'm Jory Danielson, Crow Wing County Administrative Services Director. I'm here to request consideration by the board for a public hearing to amend Crow Wing County's fee schedule. The reasoning for this is a public hearing would allow the county to seek input on a proposed amendment establishing registration fee for state of Minnesota licenses issued or related to low-potency hemp and cannabis. This change is needed to ensure our fee schedule fully aligns with Minnesota Statute 342.22. The background with this is that when the county board originally adopted the 26 fee schedule in December of 2025, it included cannabis license registration, but did not explicitly include low-potency hemp registration fees. Under state law, both cannabis and hemp are under the same regulatory framework. As a result, the county lacks clear authority to assess a registration fee for low-potency retail license registrations. So the primary and technical compliance update to the fee schedule is intended to ensure that we have consistency with the state statute, provide fair and uniform treatment of our state-vetted regulated businesses, cost recovery for administrative and compliance enforcement similar to liquor and tobacco underage compliance work already required of a Minnesota county. Without this correction, the county absorbs the costs for mandated administration and enforcement compliance checks that the state allows us to recover. So the reason for the public hearing under state statute 462.353 requires a public hearing and public notice 10 days before a public hearing, before amending the fee schedule. The hearing ensures transparency and gives affected businesses and residents an opportunity to comment, which has been a long-standing practice by this board. So the action I'm requesting is your consideration to call a public hearing on February 10th, 2026 at 9:05 a.m. in this county boardroom. If the board approves the public hearing, you will retain full discretion on whether to approve the fee schedule amendment request following the public hearing.
All right. Is there any discussion? Can I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I would make the motion to approve.
There's a second.
I will second that, Madam Chair.
I have a motion from Commissioner Barrows, a second from Commissioner Lubke.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzen?
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
County Highway.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I am Tim Bray, the Crow Wing County Engineer. I have one item for you today. It is a follow-on to a federal grant that the partners of MnDOT, Baxter and NISWA and First Assessment District entered into or applied for last year for a federal grant from the BUILD grant, which is a Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development, which is one of those acronyms, to make improvements to the 371 corridor. Last year, that partnership was unsuccessful in their application for approximately $25 million. We've received some feedback from those evaluating the grant, have made some changes. The partnership is back together again to apply for the same grant, and that is due on the 24th of February. As a reminder, it is, again, to implement some of the near-term improvements that have been identified in the 371 corridor study. We've been working on this with our partners since 2023, and there's a listing in your packet of what those near terms are. Maybe you can show those. There's a map there that talks about it. It utilizes some of the things that we've seen on the 371 corridor, which include J-turns, some channelization to provide better sight distance for those turning left, and some road realignments, particularly for a couple for the First Assessment District at Johnson Road and Barbeau, trying to get those to square up a little bit better to 371. And then also it introduces the dynamic messaging signs. So this is a really good improvement that a lot of people are excited about. It's essentially message boards up and down the corridor, making drivers aware of roadway conditions, congestion, maybe blowing snow, and things like that. And so again, it's essentially the same grant, the same exact projects that we had talked about last year, and we're just going for another round. One thing that might jump out to you is on federal grants like this, this one's a particularly an 80-20, so 80% federal, 20% local match requirement. And for Crow Wing County and the partner cities, that is actively being worked on, and we feel that that's going to be much closer to zero because of the status of the corridor. And there's an area that's identified as an area of consistent poverty. It's hard to imagine Crow Wing County has one of those, but they do up and down this corridor. It's on the north side, First Assessment District area. And through that, it allows for much larger federal participation. Any cost share that we would have would be those things that are outside of MnDOT right-of-way. Everything within the corridor, within the right-of-way limits, will be MnDOT's cost, and any cost share percentage would be based on our percentage outside of that. And these projects do not have a lot of that, so I do not anticipate a lot of cost participation exposure for us on this one. And so the recommendation for today is to adopt a resolution authorizing me and directing me to submit an application for the $25 million BUILD grant on behalf of the partner agencies. There are 2 letters of support from Baxter and NISWA contained in your packet. And then again, also a summary of the types of projects we're looking to build with those. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for the county engineer?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
County Engineer, this is just a grant, if we do get this 25 million, that's just to do the planning and do all the layout, or is it actually to actually produce something on the ground?
The planning study has been done to identify these. Those concepts need to be further developed. It is my understanding that this money could be used to further those, but it's primarily for the implementation,
is for
construction. Get it
implementation,
in the
okay.
ground to improve safety along that corridor.
Because some of those proposals that they have not been actually laid out in front of everybody and stuff like that. So it's still a work in progress.
Correct. There are, the specific projects are in the conceptual stage.
Okay.
And each one of those will have to be further developed. There'll be maybe touch points for each of the entities involved, maybe even specific businesses. I think you've expressed your concerns about some of the potential improvements at Crow Wing Power.
Yeah.
And those are included in there, and there's still some more development and coordination that needs to be done before it actually gets built.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had, Madam Chair.
All right.
Madam Chair, if there's no other discussion, I would make the motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I will second that motion, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Barrows, second by Commissioner Lubke. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none?
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Land Services.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Tom Strack, Environmental Services Supervisor, and Chris Pence, our Environmental Services Manager, here today to talk about some construction we have proposed for the county landfill. The ask today is to authorize the Land Services Director to advertise for sealed bids for a project we have proposed. And first, I thought I'd start with just kind of a quick rundown of the county landfill for those that may be in attendance today or watching online. So this outline here is the county landfill. The landfill is located at 15732 State Highway 210 in Brainerd, just north and east of the airport, or about halfway between Brainerd and Crosby on State Highway 210. So as somebody were to pull in here to the county landfill, they stop at our scale house where they're met by our landfill operator. And at that point, the landfill operator helps them determine where they take either their waste or their recyclable goods. So let's say they have recycling or something for the household hazardous waste or mattresses. They pull around here to the right and they go up to our recycling center. As you remember, we built that 2023. And as somebody pulls in there, they can dispose of their household hazardous waste, things like waste oil, paint, old gasoline. They can also dispose of electronics or mattresses. And then you can pull around, coming through here, and you get some other things that aren't supposed to go in the landfill. So used tires, scrap steel, those types of things, propane tanks. For those residents that don't have recyclable items, or maybe they also have garbage, they continue down to the actual landfill here. So the space you see here, we started filling in about 1991. This was cell 1 here on the south, and we've worked our way north, and we're currently filling in cell 5. That work is guided by our landfill operator. They're out there taking in that garbage, making sure that they're compacting it, and what's going in that landfill is supposed to be going in the landfill. As you look to the north here, this is cell 6. This is something we're talking about today. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then as you come down to the south here, these are our leachate ponds. Leachate is basically any water that comes in contact with the garbage. So as snow melt or rain hits the landfill, if it goes through the garbage, there's a collection system on the bottom of the landfill with pipes, and it sucks it out and brings it into the leachate ponds. The leachate is treated and managed by our landfill operator. So we're making sure that we're pulling out the bad stuff, and then we land apply it to the south here on our land application field. And so we've just got some things that we need to work on and expand a little bit as we take in garbage. Any questions about any of the operations of the landfill first? Okay. So as I mentioned here, you had cell 1, cell 2, and then you can kind of see some differences here in the grass cover. This is cells 3 and 4. So cells 3 and 4 are starting to finish up, and it's time for us to close. And so as we fill the cell with garbage, When we get to a final elevation, we like to close that, so that way any water that comes in contact with that final cover, as we call it, sheds off in stormwater and doesn't end up as leachate. Leachate is very expensive to manage and dispose of properly. And so what we're proposing for 2026 is a couple things for cells 3 and 4. This lighter purple here is final cover. And so what happens is a membrane, a rubber membrane is laid down, and then they follow up with sand, rooting zone material, and black dirt. And so we try to grow grass, keep that final cover in place. So any water that ever hits that spot runs off into stormwater, doesn't enter the garbage. Also, on cells 3 and 4, because of the way the landfill is constructed and future plans, it kind of piggybacks and builds off itself. And so on the west side here, this blue, dark blue, will be a raincoat. Kind of can think of it like a big bed sheet, big plastic bed sheet. Any water that would hit that would run off into stormwater. This is a cheaper solution than final cover. And the reason we didn't go with final cover is just because, like I said, we're coming back to build off of that. So the intention is that will stay there for about 20 to 30 years. At that point, it'll get removed when we come back down south. And so this picture on the left here, this is where that raincoat will be installed. Moving, as we talked about, as we go to the north, this is cell 6. The orientation of the map, if you go south, you're looking up, north would be down. We started to dig cell 6 earlier, but now it's time for us to install that clay liner, that membrane, the leachate collection pipes, get that ready for 2027 or 2028, depending on how much garbage we get to start filling that space. And so it's time to get that project bid and get that completed. And then the final thing with the project here is the leachate ponds themselves. So you'll see up here, ponds 1, 2, and 3 are getting to the end of their lifetime. Ponds 1 and 2 were constructed in 1991 when we first did cell 1, and then pond 3 was done in 1995. And so our plan is to basically reline those ponds, put a new membrane in. As the sun beats down, as we fill the ponds, the membranes get brittle, and it's just time for them to be redone, replaced. That way we're making sure that we're protecting the environment, making sure that leachate isn't soaking into the ground. It's staying where we want it to. That's a quick rundown of our construction for 2026 that we have planned. And like I said, the ask is to authorize the Land Services Director to enter or to advertise for sealed bids. We did budget approximately $4.9 million for this work for 2026 and 2027. Our engineer's estimate as of right now is about $4.6 million for that work.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who's going ahead?
You are.
I am, okay. Okay, so a couple of questions, either for Chris or Tom. First question is Crow Wing County or any county required to have a landfill? That's the first question. And the second question is what's the benefits to Crow Wing County and the county board of having a landfill? What's the benefits to the residents of Crow Wing County?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Coring, that's a great question. A county is not required to have a landfill. What counties are required to do is to have a solid waste management plan that's approved by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency every 10 years. And then in that plan, it addresses the goal, the plan for how the county is going to dispose of its solid waste. So that's a requirement that a county has. The benefit to having a landfill is that while it may seem like, the cost that we're talking here, this $4.6 million to construct the landfill, sounds like it costs a lot of money. The way that the county board has organized it over the years is that the landfill itself is in an enterprise fund, so it pays for itself by the fees that are paid by folks who dispose of the landfill. So if you dispose of the landfill, there are certain fees for garbage and certain fees for mattresses, electronics, and that sort of thing. And those fees are used to maintain and then to construct new additional cells as we move into landfill. It also is there for just the day-to-day maintenance that we need to operate. So if somebody never brings any garbage out to the landfill, they're not going to actually have to pay towards that service, except for there is a $25 fee that is assigned to all the real property in the county that is used basically to help us manage our non-landfill related items like the recycling, the mattresses, electronics. And so the benefit to having a landfill is that it's very cost effective. The other benefit is that it keeps Crow Wing County's waste in Crow Wing County. And while that might seem like an odd thing to say, anytime you throw garbage away or that you manage solid waste, there is liability to what gets thrown away. And so there are a lot of counties in the state, have a transfer station set up where, they basically have contract with a different landfill to truck and haul that garbage to them. But if there's something that were to be thrown away illegally that isn't allowed to be thrown away into a landfill and it's discovered at a later date, that county would be held liable for that. And so we really keep a close eye on what gets thrown into our landfill and disposed of. We have a landfill operator who does a great job of monitoring that and making sure that items are disposed of properly in the county. So having a landfill, I think it's environmentally smart for the county. It's a great investment and it provides a really solid return on the investment for the taxpayers who really end up funding that through tipping fees and not through their tax dollars.
Madam Chair, just one other question for Chris. So do you think the taxpayers of Crow Wing County are saving money on their garbage bill because we have a landfill? I know the answer to that question, but I'm asking you that because I want to prove to the taxpayers that we really are trying to help them. I mean, if they were in Pine River in Cass County, I think remind me, Chris, I think it's $95 a ton is the tipping fee. And I think we're at 60 something in Crow Wing County.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Commissioner Coring, thanks. That's a great question. Yeah, if you look at our tipping fee right now, and like you mentioned up in Cass County, they're up in the 90+ range per ton. We're in that 74, I think is where we're at per ton right now. And so I do think there is a definite savings there for the folks that since we have that landfill here. I do think that if you were to compare the cost of having garbage service in, in area counties, I think that you would see that our costs are going to be probably lower than that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, just one quick question. 4.6 million we're going out for bid for, but you've already done some construction on cell 6.
Correct.
What would be the total cost for cell 6? So the public understands how much it costs, and our legislators, because I've testified before them, but let's get the real number out there. So we're already partially built. So what would be the total cost?
Tom, you can correct me if, Madam Chair, Commissioner Rose, Tom, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it didn't cost us any money to basically dig the hole. We've worked with contractors who need that material for other projects.
Okay.
And so we've worked with them to haul that material out at no cost to the county and to basically, in essence, dig the hole so that we're ready when it's time now to actually do the construction. And so that's so the actual cost of digging this hole didn't cost the county anything.
Okay, so does that happen every time we do a cell?
The one previous to that, it didn't. We actually paid to have that one. I think that had been cell 5, I believe we had a local contractor, and that did cost some money. So we figured out a way to work with some local contractors who could use the fill for other projects, and it didn't cost the county any money. So we're always trying to look for ways to be more effective and more, find cost savings for the citizens of the
I
county.
applaud you for that, but
Yeah.
if we don't have those opportunities, the
Right.
cost runs much higher than 4.6.
It would. I would garner to say that if we had to probably pay somebody to dig that out and remove that, it'd probably be in the $1 million range for that, or a little bit more probably.
And that's what we tell our legislators, is
Yeah.
somewhere between about $6 million.
Yeah, I think I think that's fair.
So I have no other questions. If there are no other questions,
Yeah, I
Sorry.
do, Madam Chair. So you said cell 6, and how long have we been operating that landfill with, like, cell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? How long does it take us to get to another cell?
Yeah, we started in 1991 with cell one.
With cell one, okay.
Yep. And so we built the first cells 1 through 4, and then cell 5, we built at a little bit of a larger cell, and then we happened to have the '08 recession hit, so when the recession hit, we saw a decrease in garbage as well, so it's taken a little bit longer for us to fill that cell up, but I think an average cell we expect to be anywhere from 5 to 7 years is what it takes to fill up a cell.
And with the property we have out there, we have ample room for cell 7, cell 8, cell 9, cell 10. Do we get to a point where we're out of cells?
We've looked at the numbers and the acreage, and we figure we have 100+ years worth of space out there for landfilling.
And you were mentioning that if we ship our garbage out, our liability goes with that garbage.
It absolutely does.
And so right now, we know where the liability will be. It'll be our garbage in our county, and we're responsible for that liability.
Absolutely.
I know there's some real challenges with the PFAS and some of the other treatments we're trying to do for the leachate, but, and that seems to be kind of open-ended right now on what we can do with that. Right now, we're applying it, but we're not moving it. It's just being applied. It isn't going away. It isn't.
Right.
There are some processes they talk about where it incinerates it or it concentrates it and stuff like that. So, and those projects are pretty costly.
Correct. Commissioner Lubke, over the last probably 12 years, we've been looking at different technologies out there to help us, assist in doing the proper treatment of our leachate. And, PFAS is definitely one of the concerns, but there's other concerns as well. And so we think we found some potential options that might work. And that the question is just scalability of just getting it so that, because we generate millions of gallons of wastewater, of this leachate water at the landfill, and we just have to be able to get to a scalability piece of that. And so, it's probably going to be, maybe a couple different of these technologies working in partnership to really make it work. But we have some time from the state to get this figured out, but we've got to get it figured out sooner than later.
Yeah, and sitting on the Solid Waste Committee and also on the AMC Solid Waste Work Group with other counties, do we still know what we're going to be doing with our demo landfill yet? Is MPCA come down on that at all yet, on what we can do?
So as far as the demolition landfill and what we do with our demolition
Because that's
debris-
unlined at this time.
Yeah, right, and that's the way it's been managed across the state, so all the demo landfills across the state have been managed as an unlined facility, and so the state is in the process of working on rules that would then require, potentially for these demo landfills to be lined, and so that would have an impact on Crow Wing County on how we would manage our demo. I think the idea, there's some different ways we can either, construct and build a lined demo landfill, or the other option is to, take the demo and put it in our currently lined landfill that we already have. The question is just, there's a taxation question with that. There's different, the taxes are different if you're putting mixed solid, basically municipal solid waste in the landfill versus items that are considered construction debris. There's the tax is lower for the construction debris, so.
The other question is as far as the MSW, which is our normal hazardous landfill, that goes in our cells, how much is our demo amount? I mean, is it a ratio of, we get, 100 tons of this and only 10 tons of that, or do you have an idea in your head that, to get an idea of the size that if we had to go demo lined, what that would be?
Yeah, I think, Madam Chair, Commissioner Lubke, for last year, we were at about 56,000 tons of MSW that we brought in, and our demo was considerably less. I don't have that number off the top of my head.
10% of it, maybe?
Yeah.
10% is a number that I would.
I don't
Somewhere in
remember
that
the numbers,
ballpark,
but
yeah.
it was something I was,
Yeah.
so if we do have to do it, it would be a lined pit that would last a long time.
And the only consideration to make with that is that if the state does push the line to mandate, a lot of the privates are probably not going to do that because of the cost of lining it, treating the leachate and that. So a lot of those we would expect might close down, and then we would probably see an uptick in our C&D disposal coming into our landfill.
But because it's an enterprise zone, we would make sure that the fees that were,
Absolutely.
that came in would offset the cost it takes to manage it, so it becomes a,
And we've had that discussion with the board about showing kind of what our, from a reserve basis and how much we need to have as far as fees to make sure that we're at that point of where when it comes time to, invest in the landfill, that we have that money available in reserves to be able to make that payment. So we have.
Okay,
We've been
thank
working
you.
very close to that. Thank you.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Is there any more discussion? If not, can I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Barrows, second by Commissioner Lee. All those in favor?
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows.
Aye.
Commissioner Franzen.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
County Sheriff.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Liz and I are here on the behalf of Emergency Management Director Clayton Barg, asking the county board for a resolution for adoption of our hazard mitigation plan. The Federal Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 requires counties to update their plan every 5 years to maintain eligibility for the FEMA's hazard mitigation assistance grants. In doing the update, we've partnered with the University of Minnesota Duluth to conduct a survey to collect data from our communities, our local municipalities, cities and townships to understand where the hazards are that they've identified in their communities, such as severe weather awareness and preparedness, improving stormwater management, removing existing buildings from flood and erosion prone hazard areas. Our fire department friends and partners are interested in increasing defensible space around homes in high-risk wildfire areas. Also in constructing tornado-safe rooms in vulnerable areas such as mobile home parks, a burying of overhead power lines that may fail due to heavy snow, ice, or windstorms. So essentially, we've reached out for public input because it's an essential part of our plan. And I'm really trying to talk smart, but I'm gonna just quote Clayton Barg because he and Liz are the brains of this. In Clayton's words, hazard mitigation planning is a central part of our emergency management program. Understanding the natural hazards that can cause serious impact to our communities and taking action to reduce or eliminate the impact of future disasters makes us more resilient. Hazard mitigation helps us to break the cycle of damage and repair caused by things like flooding, ice storms, and severe wind events that can damage property, stress economies, and threaten life safety in our county. With that, if you have any questions, Liz would be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions?
Just a comment, Madam Chair. Working with Clayton over the last few years, it's been just a pleasure in working with that and talking to the other communities that up in my area have had some problems with storm damage and they've all appreciated the fact that Clayton is as professional and does as much as he can to make sure that we can apply for anything for those townships and stuff that end up with a big chunk coming out of their revenue or their budget when it comes time to cleaning up after storm damage. So just wanted to make that comment. And it'd be nice to see him here today.
Yeah. We don't want to pump his tires too much. He has an awesome team working with him, not only Liz, but our county partners with public health and community services as well. So yes, Clayton does an amazing job and we are proud to have him.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I had, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other discussion? None? Could I please have a motion?
And we'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
For a second.
I will second it.
Motion by Commissioner Lubke, second by Commissioner Lee.
Commissioner Barrows,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lubke,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzen.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you so much. Thank you. County Attorney.
Excuse me. Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I don't have anything for you this morning, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any for me.
Thank you.
No questions.
Okay, no questions. County Administrator.
Madam Chair, the first item I have for you this morning is the senior management team report. We did meet yesterday. I was about halfway late for that meeting as I was attending another meeting at the time, so I've asked Tim Bray to give the update on the senior management team meeting.
Well, good morning again, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Really good SMT meeting yesterday. First, we had a general overview of the continuous improvement program. Jory and Tammy gave us a good overview of that. We currently have 18 projects in the pipeline. They're kind of in various stages of development. We're still looking for more because this is, well, a continuous thing. We've been working on it for many years, and it's been a great program for us. We talked about the future of training green belts and black belts. These are the leadership part of that program. And we talked about some potential of using online platforms rather than some of the traditional in-person training that we've done. We also received a good update from Tracy Giza about a specific project that has been going since 2024, I believe, and this is the clean out of our main server, or the F drive. You may have heard it. Every single department has stuff in there, and as you can imagine, over the years it gets very large, a lot of redundancy, and those physical servers that are at the IT department require maintenance and cost, and there's storage. You have to buy more storage, so we're looking for ways to reduce the redundancy and kind of move towards secure cloud-based systems. And so Tracy gave an update on the progress we've had. We've made progress. There's still more progress to be made to reduce that. We took an opportunity to review the employee engagement survey that all employees or most employees participated in October. Amy gave us a briefing after talking to our consultant who helps kind of boil down this very large amount of data. It showed improvement in many areas, but still areas where there's some improvement can be made. One of the better parts of the discussion was just exchanging ideas, how each of us have worked with some of the numbers that are coming out, how to improve them, or how to continue to do things that seem to have brought numbers up over the years. So a really good discussion about that. Amy came in and talked about lead worker positions. There's a couple different categories of that. And we just talked about strategies on how to standardize those requirements for those lead workers and then get them in their performance review so they can be held accountable and also get credit for the work that they do in those positions. We also talked about the LEAD program. This is the program, it's a cohort of about 10 to 15 high potential employees every year. We're talking about that program's kicking off soon. We're finalizing the members who each of the SMT members have nominated. And then just talked in general about that and how we can continue to improve that program. And then Jory stopped in came to talk about just employee parking around here. We want to make sure that parking in authorized areas, so we make sure that we have the room needed for our guests and customers that come in to see us, and just a brief discussion about that so we can be more efficient with the parking. And then lastly, we talked about the legislative brief that we're going to be holding at 1 p.m. with our area legislatures coming up, talking about those, what to expect and things like that. So that's my report.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. Madam Chair, Commissioners, the second item I have for you is the Sourcewell Board of Directors vote. If you recall, back in October, you took action to unanimously support Commissioner Barrows pursuing re-election in the Sourcewell Board of Directors. He is one of two candidates that is up for election this year. And the action before you now is to cast a vote for that board seat. Just for clarification, Sourcewell board votes are a little bit different depending on if you're a school district, a city, or a county. At the city level and at the county level, each organization, so in our case, Crow Wing County's board, gets one organizational vote. School districts, each board member gets a vote from a school district, but at the county level, each board gets one vote, and that one vote has to be cast and determined by a majority vote of your board. So you basically have to take action to cast a vote on the ballot. So the question or the action before you this morning is to cast a vote for Commissioner Barrows on the Sourcewell Board of Directors. And we will need a motion, a second, and a vote for that particular action.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion to Nominate, is it nominate or vote?
It says
for?
nomination, but it's actually a vote. So it's actually to vote,
Motion
cast
to
a vote.
for Steve Barrows for the Sourcewell Board of Directors.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion from Commissioner Lubke, a second from Commissioner Lee. All those in favor?
Commissioner Lupke,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzen,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barrows.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And the last item I have for you is the citizen committee appointments. This should be the final, correct me if I'm wrong, Amber, but this should be the final piece of our committee appointments for 2026. The lists that you have in your packet are those final ones that we've now got the new term expirations that are expiring at the end of January here. So these folks would need to be reappointed. And Madam Chair, this is a chair appointment if you are comfortable with the names that are on the list.
Yes, I'll make those appointments.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, Commissioners, that's all I have for you, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has some for me.
Thank you. Any additional business?
Madam Chair, one quick thing. I want to thank the board for your vote of confidence for the Sourcewell Board. And other than that, I'm hoping that others follow suit. I have enjoyed my time on that Sourcewell Board. They do great things in our 5-county region. I know in 24, in my letter I put out there, I think it was $23 or $24 million that was invested in the 5-county area. Very proud of that. I know the school districts have enjoyed some of that. Public safety's enjoyed a lot of that. Our communities, our townships, all have received benefits from the money that comes in from Sourcewell. Just to let you know, we recently signed a new contract with the United States Army Reserve. So the military portion of our cooperative purchasing program is exploding on us. We're trying to keep it at scale so we can make sure that we provide the quality of service that they want, but it's what it's creating is an opportunity to have tremendous investment in the 5-county area. That's what the state legislature has said we need to do with the dollars that we receive. So I'm hoping and watching very closely that those dollars come. There's some of it is about scaling, but there is a profit margin there that I think we will see a return on investment from Sourcewell in our 5-county region. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything else? If not,
Madam Chair, a motion to adjourn?
do we have a second?
I will second that, Madam Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Barrows, second by Commissioner Lubke.
Commissioner Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Lupke,
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows.
Aye.
Commissioner Franzen.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 9:48.